When it comes to editing our spaces, the pantry is a biggie. If you always have some key ingredients on hand, it's a real game changer, especially when it comes to meal planning. Knowing what you've got is like half the battle. So let me show you some of the things that I always like to have on hand in my pantry. So I've got them back here. Just a little collection, a little basket of my very favorite things. And the first thing I always have is olives. These little babies are so delicious and briny. Now, does everybody like olives, or do we have olive haters in this crowd? Excellent. I love them so much. They're so salty and briny. They're perfect in so many things. Great as a seasoning. Also really good if you got someone stopping by for cocktails. Pop these out. You look like a class act, which is a dream. Perfect. Now, I also, on that briny train, I always have capers on hand. My mom absolutely loves capers. They're basically brined little flower buds, actually, and they're super salty, really nice and kind of vinegary. They're delicious. And then my splurge item when it comes to my pantry, canned tuna. Wait, this is jarred tuna. Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. Okay, so canned tuna is actually something that I always have on hand. But anytime I'm looking for something a little bit fancier, I get this jarred stuff. It is really, really nice. It's like the highest quality kind of tinned or canned tuna you can get, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna use these babies along with some other things that I usually have on hand, like tomatoes, eggs, onion, mayo, Dijon, things like that, to make a recipe that I call a tuna niçoise melt. It's basically like a tuna salad kind of situation, like a tuna niçoise salad, but also a tuna melt. Because in my house, any night is tuna melt night. We love tuna melts so much. Okay. So to get started on this baby, I've got half of a red onion here, and I'm just gonna dice that up nice and small. Now, you can use any onion you'd like here. I love a red onion, though, because it's really, really nice and kind of bright. It's a little bit peppery, but it kind of has like a softness to it once you like treat it right. If you wanted to use a yellow onion, that could work well too, but to be honest, I'd stick to something that's in the red family. If you have shallots and you want to feel fancy and French, go for shallot, that'd be great. Also, anytime I'm chopping an onion, I know a lot of chefy people tell you got to go down and then this way. I don't do that. The onion's already done that for you. It's basically in layers already. So just go down this way and then across, and you've got perfectly minced onion every single time. Super simple and good. That's a huge onion, so I'm gonna use a quarter of it. Now I want to add that onion on into a bowl. My husband, Aaron, never likes a raw onion, so I've developed a couple things to kind of pull back on the spiciness of that onion. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in a little bit of lemon zest. Now, lemon zest is so good. If you're using citrus and you're not using the zest, you're throwing out money, because this has so much flavor in it. It's absolutely delicious. Just gonna use my zest. Rasp that on in over those onions. Now that's gonna add a little bit of flavor, which is amazing. And then to pull back a little bit on that onion flavor, I'm gonna add in the juice. And what that juice is gonna do is it's gonna kind of sort of almost pickle that onion a little bit, giving it a little bit of time to kind of pull back on that spiciness. So just add in that juice, catch any pips. To be honest, I often let those just fall through, and then it's a sorry surprise for whoever gets it. Hopefully it's me. I don't want to be that mean of a person. And then into there, I'm also going to add in a garlic clove. Again, I'm just going to mince that straight on in. And just like with that onion, that little bit of lemon juice is going to kind of tame that garlic flavor. Because I'm not actually going to cook this mixture. I just want that fresh, bright flavor. But that lemon juice pulls back that garlic just a bit. All right, perfect. Give that a bit of a toss. And just set that aside. Now, those olives, I need about a half a cup of those. And I'm using some Kalamata olives here. If you could find Niçoise olives, which are the classic for a Niçoise salad, feel free to use those. Basically, they're just like a tiny black olive. They're from the south of France. That's where the salad originates, just in case you're wondering. Niçoise, Nice, you know. Oh my gosh, I love olives so much. When I was a kid, I thought they were gross. But you know, kids, they sometimes just don't know. They don't know what's delicious. I also ate my brother ate basically just ketchup on noodles as a kid, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt what a kid likes, you know? All right, chop those up, add that on in. And then for a bit more of that brininess, I'm gonna toss in some capers, just about 2 tablespoons. Toss those in. Again, nice and briny and delicious. Perfect. And now I'm going in with that tuna. So I've got that amazing tuna here that's come out of that jar. I've drained away most of that oil. If a little bit of that oil gets in, that's fine too. I'm gonna add in a second jar as well. Toss that in. Perfect. This is the only tricky thing about this jarred tuna is getting it out of there. But you know what? More oil never hurt anybody, says no doctor ever, but that's okay. Add that on in. Now, to give this even more of that Niçoise vibe, I've got some chopped egg here. So this kind of also brings it into the territory of like an egg salad sandwich. And as we can tell, I had very little ability at editing anything in this recipe because I'm adding everything in. Some tomatoes as well. Little bit of some parsley that I'm just gonna kind of rip on in there. And then all I need to do is toss that with a good amount of mayonnaise. I'm going in with about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 cup, and this makes a good amount of salad, as you can tell. But I'm just gonna mix that together, clean up the mess that I just made. There you go. Season that with some salt and pepper. Today, I'm using my favorite pantry staples to make a classic, simple dish, tuna Niçoise melts. Basically, it's just like tuna salad, delicious tuna melt, but also with a Niçoise salad. I'm very excited about it. So before the break, I made up this delicious kind of tuna Niçoise salad. There's mayonnaise in there, there's olives, capers, everything delicious. And then what I decided over the break is called company tuna, jarred tuna. The fancy stuff that you'd bust out when company's coming over. So I've also got some toast here that I've just toasted under the broiler, and I only actually like to toast one side anytime I'm making a tuna melt, because it gives you a nice crisp, but not too much, so it doesn't do the whole like crouton cut your mouth thing, you know? So on it there, I'm gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard. Again, sticking with that French, south of France vibe. We're sitting in Cannes. There's a movie festival going on. We're gonna eat a tuna melt like you do. You know, all right. Add a little bit of that Dijon mustard onto there. Spread that out. If you're me, add more Dijon mustard because I love it so much. And then just layer on some of that amazing tuna salad with all of those capers and olives, that egg, a little bit of tomato on there. Truly, any night is a tuna melt night in our house. Any night I'm like, Erin, I don't know what I want to make. Do you want a tuna melt? The glee that enters his eyes, let me tell you. We love him so much. Sitting on a couch with a tuna melt, ooh, what a treat. Or again, the beach in France, as I said. Again, this much mayonnaise on the beach, that's my type of beach, perfect. There you go. Now, to make this into a tuna melt, you wanna scatter some cheese on there. So you could use some white cheddar, you could do Gruyere, whatever you've got hanging around. Just something good and sharp. Scatter that all over top. Looking beautiful. And then just pop these babies under the broiler. Just until that cheese melts. Oh my gosh, just like these little babies. Oh my gosh, these look so good. So tasty. Look at those little tuna melts. Absolutely delicious. Plate that up. Scatter a little bit of that fresh parsley all over the top, just for a little bit of green. And then, if you're like me, again, eat it on the couch, or cut it in half and dig right in. Oh my gosh, I'm way too excited about this baby. He is warm and delicious. Yo, this is the best tuna melt I've ever had in my whole entire life. Bonjour tuna melt. That is so good. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.